Abigail Gazda, and although many of you may know me as a CEO or a podcaster or best-selling author, this is what I'm referring to as episode 1 of my Vanlife vlog. Ooh-wee! So this is the part where I tell you I'm going to be living van life. And I'm actually sitting outside of Fam Van in Southern California to take a look at some vans in a few minutes, but just really wanted to come live and talk about this for a second. If we've been friends already, you know I've been 100% nomadic. I've been doing a Jeep trip for the last, 2 or 3 weeks, which I got a hit for while I was in Costa Rica. So in the last year, I've lived in Mexico. I've lived in all over the country in a camper. While traveling, I was in a relationship. We traveled for 5 months around the country. That was amazing. And there's content on my YouTube channel for that. Then went to live in Costa Rica for 2 months. And it was while I was in Costa Rica that I knew van life was in my journey. And I knew something that I know about my trip in a relationship for 5 months was that I wouldn't have probably chosen this life or actively done it on my own if I didn't have that experience with a partner, because it is a bit intimidating. Like for me personally, the mechanics, the paying attention to the details of the vehicle. I am good at planning. I am good at location and all of that. It was really the mechanics that I was like, I don't want to be responsible for that. I learned a lot on the road. Also a lot of although we had a Toyota Sequoia and a camper, I will be now moving into a van, a little less to manage, but also I feel very capable. There's going to be inevitable questions like, where will you stay? Where will you go? How will you take care of this? How will you pay for all of it? I will answer those questions throughout the vlog. And if you have questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'll be paying attention and answering those. This will be very interactive. One other thing is that for safety, for editing purposes, for plenty of reasons, episodes will come out probably a couple weeks or even a month after I am anywhere, so that again, safety precautions and all of that. A lot of the things that I learned on the road the first time, and also through observing other nomads and van lifers and travelers. The intention of sharing this is I love sharing. I love sharing for the reason of possibility, meaning I know that this is possible because one, I experienced it, but also because I watched other people. I have not experienced van life. I've been studying, watching, learning, asking, researching. This reigns true as being an author, being a publisher, being a CEO, building my own business, which sustains my traveling life, right? And a lot of my work, I built a life where I can travel for work, and then work allows me to travel. So that's been a vision and passion of mine. And so that's what I've set up, and it's really fun and beautiful. And that I want other people to know that it's possible and to live it and not just talk about it, be about it, This has been true for me in all the aspects of who I am. So this is going to be a really dynamic vlog. Yes, you might be here for van life, and I'm going to share that. I'm going to share the journey. I'm going to share some of the costs of the build and the how-tos and some tutorials and processes. So you'll see dynamics like that, but you'll also see me going through my life. I am a publisher. I have a lot of projects. They are my passion. And so I'll be sharing those as well. So if you're strictly here for van life, I might not be the van lifer for you. There's plenty out there. However, if you're here for motivation, inspiration, clarity, insight, nature, expansion, spirituality, it's all going to be a beautiful tornado, beautiful swirl of that. So I hope this is the place for you. Again, I've been sort of living in my Jeep. Actually it's down again. I laid out a bed in here, and I went to Sedona, the Grand Canyon, Lake Havasu, and Joshua Tree. And so there is content pre-van life, but I'm considering this episode 1 of van life content. So stay tuned. I am gonna head over and check out some vans. I will take you along with me. I'll take you along on as much of this journey as I can. So stay tuned. I love you. Well, okay. So I didn't take you with me. I didn't even take a single picture at fam vans because I got so overwhelmed in a good way, but there was tons of van options, different features and all of this. And so when the guy started showing me, I just was listening intently, trying to like sort of take it all in. And so while like along the journey, I'm going to take you and explain most of it along, like I said, just give you an understanding. So maybe you're interested in living van life or again, studying like I was. I know for a fact that I want to go with a Ford, not a Mercedes. That is a Transit, not a Sprinter. The Sprinter is really popular. However, it's diesel, they're diesel. And then also Mercedes is going to be harder to fix and more costly to fix. A Ford will not be. So I'm going with a Ford and a Transit, and the tall, I forgot what the clearance is on that, but you're not going to take it through any drive-throughs, that's for sure. But I'm going to get the tallest one to be able to stand up. Even the mid-size tall, I don't know all the dimensions yet, but I'll continue to teach as I learn. That I literally could just stand in it. And so building anything on the floor or on the ceiling is gonna cause me to have to hunch. I will be living in it indefinitely. And so I will want to be able to stand up, and including maybe stretch or something. So yeah, oh my gosh. And then also the extended version. So the regular size was pretty fine. However, again, living in it, it's worth the little extra investment to have the little extra room because I'm going to have a bed. I do plan on having a fridge. These may be things that come over time depending on finances, but that's another piece I wanted to say, which is I want to do this vlog because I want people to know what a van build is like, and also what van life is like, because something that you'll see from living on the road, I've lived on the road for over a year, depending on what I'm trying to say is people might think it's cheaper, and in some ways it might be, but it's also mostly an exchange of your funds. It's a redisbursement of your funds. And so a lot of people might think that it is a more affordable opportunity, and it can be depending on how committed you are, but you can live very cheaply in an apartment or a home. So there's just different costs and a redistribution of your funds. So I'm going to be really transparent about that because I noticed that in camper life last year, which was there's parking, there's gas, there's different types of your eating patterns and habits change. And so I will take you along for all of that, but I do know that a fridge would be pretty essential. I'll be getting a hot plate for a stove, and currently considering like bathroom options. Normally some people build them in, some people just use nature, some people use businesses that they're at. I think it'll be a mix and a variety, but I am going to try to find a bathroom situation that serves me well too, because I work remotely, and so between calls and things like that, a bathroom is pretty essential. So I figured since I did not get any van searching and purchasing content for you, I'd like to give you just a bit of like background and history. So from Chicago, if you're from Chicago, I'm not from Chicago. I am from Indiana, Whiting, Indiana. It's beautiful, it's cute, it's wonderful, and Midwest. I grew up living on Lake Michigan, and then in 2017 I moved out to California, San Clemente, California, which is where I call it my soul's home. It's where I love it so much, and I'm sitting here, so I figured I'm going to show you San Clemente Beach real quick because I actually take you on an adventure in my second book, Talking to the Trees, The Adventures of Madeline, where she she goes from Chicago to Portland to San Clemente to Arizona to Joshua Tree. It's my journey the last like 5 or 6 years. It was my physical like adventures, but also my spiritual evolution through Madeline, as told through Madeline. So that's a book that you might really enjoy. But I am going to take you to one of my favorite views in the country right now. So stay tuned. I plan to be living mostly in California, van life, but also my job takes me everywhere around the country, and I have a global community, and it's growing quickly. And so being mobile is very important to me, a high priority. I value being mobile, and recently I had been affirming roots and wings. And I was thinking about getting an apartment. I'd much rather buy a home, and I'm not at that stage of my life yet. And so van life has been calling, and I just recently answered the call. So I'm gonna take you on a little walk here to the beach. Okay, so one other aspect of this is that my vlogging game is going to improve as time goes on. So this is gonna be fun because I'm rocking with I just have regular headphones in. I do have a stand that I'm holding my phone with, but it is my phone. I don't have a professional camera just yet. I'm also still researching that because I don't want to make that investment and not be super happy with it or have to buy something very quickly again later. And those are upwards of $1,000 investments when you're buying something worth vlogging with. So stay tuned because we're going to deal with some wind. You're going to deal with some earth sounds that aren't very well eliminated. And let's show you like to be. This is San Clemente, California. And I know it's really windy, so I apologize. Sorry, not sorry, because these views are amazing. This is called the Pier Bowl. You can see when I drove across the country with my mom in 2017, can just always this is the view that got me across the country. And I'll turn, you can see all these views. And so if you do read Talking to the Trees, this is the parking lot that Madeline drives up in, runs down here screaming gratitude, and then plopped right there on that spot of the beach and has a conversation with all of these palm trees. So I will be, again, living van life in California between San Diego and Malibu. That's what I look forward to. But then also, which by the way, in case you've never heard of it, there is something called the America the Beautiful Pass, which is a pass, a year-long, an annual pass to all of the state parks, national parks, and not state parks, the national parks. And so if you buy one for $80, you can go and park at the national parks and not have to pay the $30 fee every single time you go. So even if you visited 3 parks in a year, it would have paid for itself, which is stellar. So I do plan to use it for that reason. As far as parking and visiting, the way that I work, I have at least 1 week off a month. And so my plan is to be able to do some really fun and wild adventures as well and take you on them. So anyways, this is San Clemente, California. This is my Jeep. I'm still deciding what to do. I have a few ideas, but welcome to Van Life with Abigail. I haven't come up with a blog name or anything like that, but welcome to my life. Welcome to my channel. Stay tuned. Love you.